Are you productive? Do you have enough hours in the day, minutes in the day, time in the day? Or are you always rushing from the one thing to the next thing? Well, today we discuss what it means to be productive, how to manage your time better, and get our lives back, because that's so important these days. It feels to me like we just don't have control over our lives anymore, and other people are taking up our time. So if that is a problem that you sit with, then today's episode is for you. And I'm also going to share some digital tools and other resources to help you build an even better financial planning practice. This is Propulsion, the podcast for forward-thinking and driven and ambitious financial planning professionals. It is the catalyst to the exponential growth of your financial planning practice, your business, or your franchise. This is where professionals come in order to learn about the latest technology, to learn about best practice when it comes to running and managing their business, as well as marketing, sales, relationship building, the best and most valuable interviews with local and international guests, and a whole host of other things. Without any further ado, here is your host, Francois du Toit. Alrighty, so yes, I am excited for today's topic, and there's a big reason why I am actually talking about this today, because over the last couple of weeks, and it's been a bear buck of mine, to be honest. I always seen, since the time I was a consultant, so it's not a recent thing actually, since I was a consultant, it doesn't matter what I did, where I was, whenever I worked with financial planners, I always see everybody do exactly the same thing. And this is something that sort of, I think we do to ourselves. So I'm really excited to talk to you about that and just at least share my opinion and my views on it. But it is more around productivity and time management. But that was sort of the catalyst that got me into wanting to talk about this today. And that's exactly what we are going to do. But let's first start off with asking the question, what is productivity really when we talk about that? Well, does it mean that I get things done? Am I very good at that? Can I get a lot done? Does it mean that I'm busy all the time? So if I'm busy, I'm being very productive. Does it mean that I'm producing more than other people on average, or just more than people in general? Or everybody else in my business, or everybody else in my team, or everybody else in wherever you may find yourself? Is that what productivity means? I've been thinking about this a lot, because since last year, because I've found myself in a space where I'm still battling with this. Don't get to everything. You manage to, the more you do, the more there is to do. And it just becomes very overwhelming at some stage. And I'm pretty sure that many of you feel exactly the same way. And this is sort of where I started spending more time. I'm like, there's got to be a better way, because just like I told myself I'm not a salesperson, I was also telling myself I'm not an admin person. And the funny thing is, whatever you tell yourself, it seems to be true, because we choose to believe that. And there had to be a better way. There had to be another way. So I started really consuming a lot of content around productivity and those kind of things. There's quite a few people that I sort of looked at on YouTube. There's some audiobooks that I listened to, and this is sort of where all of this comes from that I want to share with you today. But for me, if I look at my own definition for what productivity is, it means that you have the ability to focus, first of all, on a thing, and that you can start and finish that thing. There was a stage last year where I was like sitting literally with two laptops and jumping in between two different things that I was doing, and I just got nothing done until I decided to close the one and just focus on the one, and then close that one and just focus on the other one. I actually started getting a lot more done. And for me, I think a lot of us, we battle with the same thing, because it's telephone calls, it's emails, it's if you use things like Slack, it is things like WhatsApp, it is people in your team. It is there's so many different things, and I'll get to what the detractors are for us that takes us away from being productive. But those are definitely the things that we all battle with, and here's my thing, right? So why I want to talk about this is because I've seen way too many times. So this isn't like me having a bias towards something specific. It is literally something that I've observed a million times, I would say, where when a client calls, the financial planner drops everything. This client can only see me now, or it's this big client, it's this important client, it's this and this and this and that. And doesn't matter what else is going on, you leave that, you cancel that, and you go do that and attend to the client. And my question is, what are we saying when we actually do that? Because for me, it means that the client is absolutely in control. They are the masters of our time. They are the masters of what we do and don't do. And that for me is not right. So it's this ability to be able to say no. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, and hence the thumbnail with a massive no on it. For me, I saw that as a consultant. You would do all this prep work. You would plan your things. You would communicate before the time. You rock up at the financial planners practice and they're not there. Oh, no, there's this client that called and I had to go see them urgently. Like nonsense. Like for me, that does not exist. For me, it is just a case of then something else is wrong if that is the way that we do things. So one is disrespectful to the consultant's time in that scenario. Whatever else you've got going on that you committed to, it's disrespectful to that. What makes that so important, unless somebody has just passed away, there would always be reasons where it literally is, you've got to drop everything and go there immediately. But I swear that's not going to be most of the time. It's going to be the exception. It's not going to be the rule. And that for me is something that I've always, from my side, when I do certain commitments or I have certain appointments or I have certain things, I make sure I stick to it because it's just being respectful to everybody in that sort of situation. So that for me then links directly onto being productive, because if you're running around like a headless chicken, I would argue that there is absolutely no way that you are productive because you're just running after whoever tells you where to go. So you can't stick to your own planning. And that is where the problem starts. So productivity in my mind is the ability to focus and to start and finish a task. But then also it means being effective in a given timeline. I'm going to talk about that when we get to time management, because productivity and time management absolutely goes hand in hand. They go together. You can't have the one without the other. So very important. So that for me is sort of, when I think about productivity, that's what it is. But I think then the next question immediately becomes, where should we be productive, as financial planners and as business owners, or running your practice and your teams and everything? Where should you be productive? Well, for me, it goes back to those habits that I shared with you in a previous episode, where you've got to focus on the things that generate income first. And there's a multitude of things that comes to that. But you've got to be clear on what those 3, 4, 5 things are that you need to be doing every single day that will lead to income. Sometimes we think it's things like creating a newsletter and doing marketing and issuing invoices or following up on payments that are outstanding or following up on outstanding commissions and underwriting and all those good things. Those things don't generate income. They just, the only thing that generates income is you speaking to a client and then concluding some form of I don't want to say a deal, but you conclude advice, you give advice, you deliver the service that you are supposed to deliver. And then the payment thereof is obviously subject to certain other things that might need to happen. But still, from that point, it's definitely important that spending time with clients is definitely one of the areas where you need to be productive. In other words, you need to see as many clients as you possibly can or as you possibly want to see, because many of us have got a certain view around how we want to work and how we want to spend our time and how much time we want to spend. But that time that you allocate to it, it's got to be spending time seeing clients most of the time. Forming a deep understanding of the client, I think, is the other place where we definitely need to be productive. So when we're there, we need to be present. We need to be in the moment. We need to listen. We need to play back and make sure that we actually understand, so that you don't have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and keep asking questions because you didn't listen properly or you didn't take proper notes while you were talking to the client. So it's being productive in that sense as well. And then the other place I think that is extremely important is for us to be productive when we work on our business. That helicopter day, that taking a day out, a morning out, a week out, a weekend out, whatever it is, to spend time working on your business, that's the other place that's very important for you as the owner or the leader of that practice to be able to do that. But another question then becomes, obviously, does being productive mean that I'm being efficient? Because, productivity, I think, is often linked with busyness. But are you being efficient? And I would say, or I would argue, not at all. I would definitely go so far as to say, no, not at all. It doesn't mean that you're being efficient at all. Because what is the difference between productivity and efficiency? Well, productivity is all about the output. So how much did you create? What is the result? What is the outcome? Efficiency, where are you doing things right the first time? Because that's what creates efficiency. So in my opinion, when you start thinking about this, things like technology and systems and processes and people, that is what drives efficiency in your business or your practice. And then focus, commitment, knowledge, skills, and strategy is what actually drives productivity. So you can see those are two completely different things. And the things where you should be spending your time if you want to be productive is you need to focus. You need to commit to whatever that is that you need to focus on. You need to continuously build your knowledge, because the more knowledge you have, the more skills you can develop. The more knowledge and skills you have, the more wise you become, and the easier things become, and the quicker you can actually do things right the first time. And then obviously if you have a plan, and you follow that plan and you take action, that's when the productivity really goes through the roof. So those things are extremely important from that point. Right. Let me quickly jump to the comments and just see, because I know I'm saying a lot of stuff this morning. Right. So. Yes, I see Russell is talking about Ali Abdaal. Ali is definitely one of the guys that I watch, but I'll share that in the resources. So Ben says, I used to drop everything when a client calls. It's a great step to be free of that. Absolutely. Good morning, Paula. Then Mulalu, and I've been attending the Productivity Champion training with Productivity SA these past 2 weeks. This session just came at the perfect. I didn't even know there was something like that, Ursula. So that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing. So Russell says, 100%, I started putting in boundaries with my clients 3 years ago. I'm here for you to advise through life, but I'm not a call center. You must coin that, brother. You must change that into a meme. So that's awesome. Malalu agrees. Hi, Uncle Kevin, nice to see you. You do some awesome work with your videos and your newsletters and everything, by the way. So very welcome. All right, so let's continue, because there's loads more to sort of talk about. The next thing I want to talk about is the productivity tips, just some tips for productivity. So what are some of the things that may help you in this regard? And obviously, the first thing that I already alluded to is to focus on the things that generate income first. Now, that doesn't mean just seeing clients. It might mean having a meeting with your consultant. It might mean meeting with one of the companies. It might mean, networking with something else. It may be talking to someone about some new technology. Those things those meetings and that time spent can absolutely help you generate income. So it's not just to say what generates income. Oh, I need to see clients and nobody else. That's not what it's about. It is about identifying the things that are necessary for you to do in order to generate that income for your business. Because ultimately, in most of our practices, you are the person that generates the income. The rest of the business supports you. It's very few where you actually maybe own a bigger business and there's other advisors in the business. So then that's a different dynamic. But still, your focus will still be things that will generate income, because how do you make it easier and better for your financial planners and all of that good stuff. So definitely something to focus on. And then importantly, once you know what that is, you need to delegate and outsource the rest. It's it's the hardest thing to do, but it's an easy thing to do. It's a sort of a conundrum that one sits with. So you can definitely outsource some stuff if you don't have a team. It's very interesting, if you really go and look at what your time is worth, if you really go and see, and you think your time is worth 1,000 Rand an hour, 2,000 Rand an hour, 5,000 Rand an hour, why in the world would you be spending time issuing invoices, following up on invoices, if you can pay somebody 250 Rand an hour to do that? Why? It doesn't make sense. So definitely better to outsource and free your time up to go and focus on the things that you should be focusing on. But you've got to have a plan for that, and you've got to have the right people that you can use for that. The other big part about being productive for me is that you need to you need to stick to your commitments. Once something is in your diary, stick to it. It's a different thing if it's not in your diary and you forgot about it. But that's also a good friend of mine, Chris Rue, always told me that, but if it's not in your diary, it ain't going to happen. So that's absolutely true, and I fully believe it. He's the same person that has, once when I said to him, I can't go to this training session now. Please, can I go 4 months later? And he said to me, why? I said, no, because I'm so busy and people are starting to write business for me. And, I've got all these appointments and things. And then he stood there And he took off his watch and he said to me, do you want time? And he asked me this big question, what's going to be different next time? Jeez, I was 29 at the time. Man, was that a great lesson to learn at that stage. So dankie Chris, ek skuld jou ene nog vir dit. But yeah, that's so important. When you have commitments, see it through. Because if you don't have time now, I promise you, you're not going to have time later. And there's always going to be something. You will always be changing things and moving things out and not getting to the things that you sort of said that you would do. So either don't commit to things like that or stick to them if you do. So that's very important. Then you need to identify one thing, or not that you have to, what you could do. Let me rather put it that way. If you really want to have fun, I think, while you do what you do, all of us have certain things that we prefer to do. I would much rather prefer putting my show together or broadcasting the show or creating content or do a podcast or do things like that than probably do any kind of admin. So every day you need to go and identify, what that one thing maybe is that you have to do today. You must do it today, but you're also going to have fun doing it, because that's often the catalyst for you to then continue with other things. So that's definitely a tip, and that's something that I picked up from Ali Abdaal, by the way. So he's talking about a highlight of the day, but for me it's like, what is that one thing that I must do that I know is going to give me energy and that is just going to make everything fun the rest of the day. And also, one of the things obviously is to keep a list. Call it a to-do list, call it whatever you want to call it. But the thing with that is that often when that list becomes long and you keep carrying things over to the next day and the next day and the next day, it becomes overwhelming and you become frustrated and you feel like, what's the point? But the biggest reason why we need to write things down is simply because you and I cannot remember stuff. It's as simple as that. Our minds are not built for that. It's not built to store. It's built to process. So we do forget. I mean, how often have you maybe stood in the morning in the shower, and sorry for this image if you have an image in your head right now, but you're standing in the shower, you have this brilliant idea, and by the time you've got back to your room, it's like, what was I thinking again? How often does that happen? So you just simply don't remember. So writing things down is a brilliant way of clearing your mind as well, because otherwise you go all the time like, I've got to remember this, I have to remember this, I have to remember this, and then you still don't. So keeping a list of some sort, whether it's a pen and paper, that works fantastically well. I don't know if you know that, but that works fantastically well. Or if it's a digital tool, like some of the things that I'll share a little bit later. But that's an important one. And then I think the one thing that I battled with specifically for a very long time is to learn to prioritize properly. Because for you to prioritize, there's many different models, right? I don't know all the names of all the models, but there's all these different models, like is it important and urgent and not and whatever. All you need is a set of criteria that you will use in order to clarify what is important and what needs to be prioritized today. So yes, is it urgent? Is it not urgent? All that stuff is important. But also you need to think about the significance of what it is that you're about to do. You need to think about the long-term impact. You need to think about the short-term impact. So there's quite a few things that one can think about when it comes to prioritizing. And, some people use commercials as a way to prioritize. So which project or which client is going to give me the biggest income? So let me first focus on them. For others, it might be rather than doing that to say, you know what, here's a client. I'm not going to make a cent more, but I'm already making a certain amount, so I'm going to spend time with this client today. Whatever you use to prioritize, that's for you, but you need to then, I think, apply that consistently and then also review that over time to see, is that the best way for you to do it? The best way to learn to prioritize properly is to just do it and do it and do it over and over again. All right, so let me see. There's some great conversations, it seems, happening in the chat. So cool stuff. There we go. So let's see. Terence, wow, do you want time? It is hard hitting. It hit me right in the stomach and the oak didn't even touch me. So it was a pot shot. We may be aware, says Mark, of how we can improve, but we seem to keep defaulting back to bad habits over time. It's because that's our comfort zone. It's what we're used to. So even though it's not good for us, we're at least used to it. That's, I think, the reason. And maybe Norma can help with a session on how to keep on the new track. I will relay that message to her. Mel says that procrastination is the devil in disguise. I have to be mindful all the time and use self-talk to keep focused on the important income-generating stuff, and I have learned to delegate. Yes, if once one start delegating and you really get, because I think the biggest challenge with delegating is sort of two things: is trusting the other person to get it right the first time, and then secondly, how do you keep track of all these things that you're delegating? I think those are probably the two biggest ones. So definitely something to think of. She says, I write down 3 things I need to tackle every day. Fantastic. That has been a game changer for me. I used to have to-do lists, to-do lists. Yeah. I've had books of to-do lists. So absolutely. I love the 3 things per day, says Mulalu. Thanks for that. And then Kuba says, I should not say this, but had my waterproof earpods and waterproof iPhone on listening to your program in the shower for new ideas. Gave me more time and efficiency. But that it's all about being efficient and being productive. So one of the big things to do this is to remove any and all friction, which is exactly what I've done with my studio. So that's the biggest way to become productive. Just anything that can sort of make it a little difficult for you, or there's a little bit of resistance, or there's a little bit of friction for you to get going. So for me, I walk in here, I have 2 remotes. So I've got this remote which switches on my 2 main video lights. I've got this remote which switches on the blue lights, and off I go. I don't need to do anything else. Everything is set up. It's here. If I want to sit, there's a button I push on this table, and I'll maybe do a video on this. But then the desk adjusts so that I can sit at it. If I'm presenting, I just press the button, and it's where I need to be. Yesterday, I ordered wheels for this thing so that I'm able to actually move it around. So everything is fitted to this table. So it will move wherever I move the table. It's little things like that that just makes it easy for us. If you're somebody who wants to paint, or you're somebody who wants to do something creative, create a space where you can walk in, start doing it, leave it there, and leave. If you are somebody that needs to pack everything out, put it at your dining room table, and then work, and you have to pack everything up again, you'll maybe do it once or twice or 3, and then it becomes, it's too much, it's the film meter. So make it easy for yourself, remove the friction to do what it is that you need to do. And in some cases in our businesses, it means delegating, etc. All right. So Kuvendra says, powerful time management and effective utilization. When a client calls, I often forget where I was in my day. Then Carol tried to kill 3 birds with 1 stone like Kobus, but in other ways. Awesome. And then Kobus, please don't try to imagine that one. No, we won't. Right. So let's move on. Right. So then that's some productivity tips for you. And then so now my next question when it comes to time management is, can we truly manage time? That is a massive question. And my opinion again is no. Because why? Time is constant. You can't make it go faster. You can't make it go slower. It feels sometimes that time stands still, and it feels sometimes like, time is moving at a rapid pace, and you blink and it's Friday, and you blink and it's Monday, and you blink and it's next month and end of the year. But we cannot manage time. The only thing that we can manage is what we do and our own behavior. It's the only thing that you have control over in that sense. So when I talk about time management, there is something that you own completely, and that is your time. But the fact of the matter that you and I have 24 hours in a day and 60 minutes every hour, that is what we've got, and it moves at exactly the same pace. So even though I can't make it stand still, go slower, go faster, what I absolutely must realize is that I fully own my time. You are in control. And this is the thing where I'm seeing, as soon as you let go of that control and you let, clients or family or friends or whatever control your time for you, that's when we lose out on productivity. That's when we become, I'm rushing from the one thing to the next. Oh, I forgot this. Everything just starts to get hectic, and it doesn't stop from there. It's just downhill, basically. So very important to realize that although we cannot manage time, we can manage ourselves, and we own our time. So we decide how we spend our time. If you own something, you decide what you do with it. You are in control. So take back the control if you feel like you're not in control at the moment. It's also different for different people, I must be honest. Some people I know, I've got friends who they have very much a lifestyle type of business. So they will maybe see 1 or 2 clients. They want to go to gym. They want to go out with their kids. They want to pick them up from school and all that kind of stuff. And then you have people on the other end who's using every single minute in order to build their business, for example. Neither is wrong, neither is right. It's what works for you. But the fact of the matter is, we all have the same amount of time, and you own that time, and you are in control of that time. So what you do with your time, call it then your time management, goes hand in hand with your productivity. Because productivity doesn't really mean that I need to be busy every single second of every single day so that I can produce as much as possible. It is all about being productive with the time that you allocate to doing that. So you don't sit there, I'm going to spend these 2 hours to do X, and then you get distracted by an ad, or you're scrolling through social media every 5 minutes or things like that. It is really being able to focus. So how do we do that? Well, let me share some time management tips with you. And these are very simple, basic things, right? If you want to win the World Cup, you don't need some fancy moves and fancy strategies. What you have to have is you have to have commitment from the team. You have to have hard work from the team. But what they need is to do the basics extremely well. In fact, they need to do the basics better than the other team if they want to win. It's not about the fancy stuff. It's not about something weird and wonderful. It is simply about, doing what you do very well and consistently so. So the first thing is use a calendar. Be it a book. My wife enjoys using a physical book. In fact, we ordered one that is specifically designed for this kind of stuff for her. So she likes writing. She's very creative. So she likes the writing and she wants to feel things and etc. On the other hand, everything is digital. So my calendar sync from my phone to my laptop to my tablet. So everything is talking to one another. So I only have to do it once and I don't forget. There's no way I can forget because these things remind me. It doesn't matter what device I'm on. So it's what works for you. But use a calendar. That is one of the most important things because this also gives you a visual representation. Specifically the digital ones can give you a visual representation of exactly what's happening today, tomorrow, this week, the month even if you want, and even if you want to go as far for the whole year. So it's nice to have sort of a visual picture if you zoom out of just how busy you are and are you really spending your time on the right things. The next one is to block out time. And this is to get things done. And this could be for anything, right? So if you need to make phone calls, if you need to follow up something, if you need to go sort out your driver's license, if you need to learn a new skill, if you need to learn a piece of software, if you need to see clients, if you need to prep for client meetings, like block these things out in your time because in your mind, you know exactly this is what I need to be doing now. But here's I think the catch is that then in that time, one, you need to stick to it because I think one of the biggest problems is that when we put those things in our diaries and we block out that time, then it means we can also change it. So if you blocked out time to let's just say, read for an hour, and now suddenly your wife comes in and says, okay, what about breakfast or a coffee or something? Yeah, that sounds a lot nicer than reading. And off you go because you have that power to actually do that. So it's about the discipline and to stick to that commitment again. So important if you want to do this stuff, you have to stick to your own commitments. So block out that time. It's just to get things done. That's really why you do it. But then also you need to protect time. So you need to be really, sort of what am I going to do with this time? Like, why am I blocking out this time? So you need to put out time for different things. So if you want to have that balanced life, or at least some form of a balanced life over time, then you need to block out times to do certain things. So for instance, whether it is to go to the gym, whether it's working on your business, whether it's just reflecting, if you want to do deep work, you really need to get into something new and you want to do that deep work, or just take time off. I just want to go for a massage this afternoon, then block that time out and protect that time. And the only way that you can do that is by stopping to overcommit. Stop overcommitting. So what I've done also now at the beginning of this year, because my list just keeps growing. I mean, the amount of projects we've got going on in Propulsion Pro and Propulsion Learning is absolutely crazy. And I just realized that, I can't, because it's just in our nature to want to work on all these things at the same time, and that just doesn't get you anywhere. So I really looked at it, I prioritized, I moved everything out. It's on the list, I will never forget about it. But there's only 5 things that we're focusing on at this stage out of the 38 things that is on that list. So that's what you need to do. So stop overcommitting and then tell other people, even today, if you've already committed to something and you feel like you can't do it, then call. Okay, let them know. Listen, I'm going to push it out. I can't do it now, whatever the case may be, but manage those expectations, be proactive, and stop overcommitting. You have to say no. Say no up front. once you've said yes, it's not so nice, specifically if you just like the day before or on the day, you let people, sorry, I can't do this anymore. No, you need to let people know well in advance. Because remember, other people are also planning around what it is that has been committed to. So it's not only you and what's happening in your life, it is also in their space. So just stop overcommitting. Say no to most things. You've got to know, when do I say yes? And there's this book, Hell Yes or No, I think is the book's name. And in this book, it goes all about, if you have something to do and you don't go hell yes immediately, then you shouldn't do it. Then the answer should be no. Even if you feel like, yeah, maybe not, that kind of stuff, don't do it. You've got to go like, oh, yeah, I want to do this, and then you do it. All right? So that's sort of a way to do that. But once you've said yes, stick to that yes. Otherwise, say no and stick to that as well. And then the last tip for time management specifically, before I get into some of the other things, is that we've got to learn to estimate time better. That's our biggest challenge. And that's my biggest challenge in my business, is just to estimate how much time something is going to take me. The better I am at it, the more productive I can be, the more efficient I can be. There's this thing called Parkinson's Law. I don't know if you know what that is. But Parkinson's Law, basically, I'm going to quote what this law says. It says, work, and listen to this, work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. So basically, if you give yourself a day to do something, it'll take a day. If you give yourself 3 weeks, it'll take 3 weeks. So give yourself 2 hours, it'll probably be 2 hours. This episode is a very good example of that. I did not have a lot of time to prep for today, but I managed to get it done in an hour and a half. Where previously it'll take me a week to come up with something, it'll take me a week to come up with the content, simply because that's how much time I have. And suddenly I didn't have that time. Hour and a half, boom, done, dusted, and you see what you see today. So really just doing that, but then being able to focus and not have other distractions is then very, very important. All right. Then just quickly, then some gremlins that are distracting us. Is that just having too much on our plate, so it just our mind gets scattered. Not having a plan is a big one. So that's definitely something that makes it difficult to be productive and to manage our time. Not being able to say no. So I'm not going to elaborate on that. Just as I said before, what does it say about you and me if every time a client phones, we drop everything and we cancel everything else because it's a client? Your client does not live on a pedestal. They are not the most important thing in the world. There's other things that are as or more important, unless it's that exceptional case where this is a scenario where you have to get there immediately. But I don't know, in my experience, I've said to people, I can't, I'm busy. And a great way, I'm going to share a tool with you now that I actually use to manage that more effectively. And not having a team, that's the other thing. That's the other detractor. You've got to do everything. So then how can you be productive from that? Righty, then digital tools and other resources. I'm just quickly going to run through this. I'll probably do some sessions on this at some stage. But my tool of choice, where I do everything, brain dumps, my planning, how I manage my team's work, even training, everything happens in this one app. It's called Notion. Notion is absolutely fantastic. I have the paid version, but you can do everything on the free version as well. But it's a great tool to do this. It's everywhere on all my stuff. It helps me sort of really manage my day-to-day stuff. I'm able to prioritize. I'm able to delegate. I'm able to follow up. I'm able to do a lot of stuff on Notion, so a fantastic tool. Then Getting Things Done is a great place to start. It's a book written by David Allen. So it's a very old book, but it still rings very true. So definitely something you can check out. Then a way that I manage my calendar and my time is through Calendly. So if you're not using Calendly yet, I was meeting with somebody the other day. I said to him, look, I mean, I don't know. I've got 2 diaries I have to manage. So please, if you don't mind, it's going to be easier for you. Here's my Calendly link. Go and book time for us. And they book it and it happens. And when it's in my diary, that's what I do. But I set all the rules up in Calendly so that I know I have space between meetings and I don't have too many of these types of meetings on a day, etc., etc. So you can literally manage everything and you take that responsibility away from you. You don't have to say no. Calendly will say no on your behalf. And then lastly, on YouTube, some resources. You can go and watch. Thomas Frank is a big sort of celebrity when it comes to productivity. But him and Ali Abdaal, they are the 2 most prominent ones probably. talking about this, although there's loads of people talking about productivity. But if you want to get to understand a system and things, like building a second brain and things like that as well, then these are definitely two places to start. So that's Thomas Frank and Ali Abdaal. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week, same time, same place. I want to wish you a great weekend, and stay safe and be blessed. And remember to raise the bar. Thank you. Love you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. Remember to check out the live show, Propulsion Live, on YouTube every Friday at 7 a.m. South African time. You can find it at www.propulsion.co.za/live. That's propulsion.co.za/live. And please remember to subscribe, share with your colleagues, your friends, and anyone who may find value like you did in this podcast. Once again, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next episode.